Okay then, before I get started, let me just say, if you are not caught up with the Walking Dead television series up to and through season 10, and you have managed to stay in the dark about things that they have released about season 11, and you don't want anything about the comic book spoiled, you might want to skip this one. Big time spoilers coming up. This is the final season of The Walking Dead. So it is going to be a little bit different. I think there are going to be a lot of deaths. They are going to kill off a lot of characters we are very familiar with. And I want to go ahead and get into this because we got a lot of characters. This is the problem I had last year. We had so many characters. I actually left Kelly out because not on purpose, but for the record, I would have said she would have lived. But we had so many characters, I just missed her. But just real quick, last season, of course, I went 50-50. I predicted, Alpha and Beta. I think everybody saw that coming, obviously. But I also predicted Alden and Gabriel, and missed both of those. I kind of figured either Gabriel or Sadiq would die, and I went the wrong way on that one. I should have known, because every year they kill a doctor. That, and they killed Laura. And I do want to point out that all this pandemic stuff and the coronavirus and all that stuff wasn't that bad until they killed Laura off. Just saying. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get into this because we got so many characters to go through, and I don't want this to be 30 minutes long. So let's just go ahead and jump into the predictions here. Let me get the obvious ones out of the way first. Carol and Daryl, they've already said that they are going to have a spinoff. Based on, centered on Daryl and Carol. So obviously they would live. I will bring up something here in a minute, though. They will live. I think that is going to happen, but I'll bring something up here in a little bit. Also, all the kids. I'm going to go ahead and just bunch up all the kids again. Judith, Gracie, RJ, and Herschel, Maggie's kid. All the kids. I don't think they're going to kill any of the kids off. So they're all safe, they'll all live. And then, of course, it's being the final season, I just don't see them ending the series without bringing Rick back in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's some kind of hallucination or something. But I would imagine that for those that are left, they would have to let everybody know, okay, yeah, he's alive. And so Rick and Michonne, just to make it official, I think both of them will live. Okay, those are all the givens. All right, Maggie. Let me say I think she will live, and it'll be nice to have Maggie back for a full season. I don't think they would kill her off, but I will say this. Now, if you don't want spoilers about the comic book, you might want to cover your ears. The comic book ended with Rick and Carl both lived to the end of the comic book, and Rick got bit, died, turned, and Carl had to shoot him. He had to put him down. They obviously can't do that on the TV show, but they can do a variation of it, and I think Maggie would be a possibility for that. That's what I say about Daryl and Carol. This is a conspiracy theory with Daryl and Carol. What if the whole spinoff thing is just a red herring, and then one of them dies and the other has to put the other one down, and that would come as a huge shock because nobody is expecting either one of them to die. I don't think that'll happen, but I'm just putting it out there. Just like with Maggie, I don't think they're going to kill Maggie off, but that would hit a lot of people in the feels. If Maggie got bit and turned, and I don't know if it necessarily would have to be Herschel, her son, that would put her down. I don't think Herschel has been around long enough to have that much of a connection with the audience, but to put a twist on it, what if Negan had to put her down? What kind of reaction would that get? Actually, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, I think she'll see the end of the season and the end of the series, and of course she will most likely go on maybe to the Rick movies, maybe onto one of the spin-offs, not necessarily as a regular character, but popping up from time to time. But she'll live anyway. Okay, and this is already going to be too long. Rosita, thought about putting her on the death list last year, and of course it would have got it wrong if I had, but this being the final season, I do see them taking out Rosita. They're going to be taking out a lot of the characters that we're familiar with, and I think she's one of them. I think they'll go ahead and kill off Rosita. Eugene, I had to think about Eugene for a long time, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. But with this community, with the Commonwealth coming up, he is a very useful person now. They're getting technology put back together, and I can see him living, so I'm just going to go ahead and say he'll live. Gabriel, I tried to kill him off last year, and it didn't happen. Was going to kill him off this year, and then I thought, well, Rosita's got the baby now. If she dies and Gabriel dies, where does the baby go? And I could see them doing that again. Gabriel ends up with Rosita's baby. I say that like it's a bad thing, but you have that squirrely family again. You got Rosita's baby that she had with Sadiq, and Gabriel is now raising it. Michonne raising. Well, she does have the kid with Rick, but of course, Judith, who they pretty much confirmed was not actually Rick's. It was actually Shane's and Lori's, but Michonne is now raising her. Aaron with Gracie, so you have all of these mixed families. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Gabriel will live. Aaron, this is another. I think this is actually the one they may very well give Rick's comic death to, because as we brought up before, he kind of looks like comic Rick. He's got the one arm, he's got the bushy beard, and so you could see that happening, and maybe Gracie has to put him down, or you could even see it falling to Judith. I mean, Judith has to do it, but yeah, I'm going to say Aaron dies this year. Ezekiel, thought about him. Yes. I don't really have anything more to say about it. They're going to be killing some people off, and they've teased him so many times. But yeah, I think they're going to go ahead and kill him off. Negan, he will live. I think there's too many possibilities for that character, and he may just disappear. But yeah, I think he'll live. Alden, another one I tried to kill off last year, and it didn't happen. But I started thinking about it, and I was like, he is pretty young, and you would want to keep some of the younger people around, some younger familiar faces, and so yeah, I think I'll go ahead and say Alden lives. Jerry, same thing. I think Jerry will live. Another possibility to pop up in some of these other shows and such. Okay, and to save a little time, I'm just going to bunch all of these people, what I'll call Magna's group. I think they'll just wipe the whole crew out. I don't think anybody really cared too much about this group. Connie was pretty popular. People like Connie, and Yumiko, I think, made some connections with people. But other than that, people hated Magna for the most part. Somebody's going to say, well, I loved her. But most people did not like Magna. I don't think most people cared one way or the other about Luke. Kelly was just kind of there, and I'm just going to say they're just going to wipe that whole crew out. Magna, Yumiko, Connie, Kelly, and Luke. I think they're all going to die this season. Dianne, they better not. I hope that they didn't just put a Laura Jinx on her. But I wanted to see them do more with this character, and they just really haven't. And so I'm hoping to see her see the end. I'm going to say she lives. Lydia, actually thought about, kind of started to put her in the same category as Alden and say, well, she's a younger, familiar face. That could be a reason to keep her around, but don't think so. I'm really a little surprised they've kept her around as long as they have, to tell you the truth. I think that may be because it's another almost adopted child for Carol. Lydia dies, and that's what drives Carol to just say to hell with this and want to leave, and her and Daryl take off, and that's why they're off doing their own thing. So I'm going to say Lydia dies this season. Princess. They introduced this character in the comic book, and when they introduced her, they said, oh, wait until you see this character. We've got some big plans for this character. It's going to be great. And then they did nothing with her. And then they ended the comic book. So I think they will keep that character around. They may very well move her over to one of the spin-offs. Not necessarily the Carol and Daryl spin-off, maybe something else. Maybe she'll pop up in the movies, I don't know. But I think they'll go ahead and keep the character around and I guess do what they were going to do in the comic book and didn't for whatever reason. But Princess lives. Elijah, yeah, he'll live. And who else? Gage. Yeah, we'll kill off Gage, why not? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 familiar to somewhat familiar faces that are gonna die on the Walking Dead television series in the 11th and final season. Okay, well, I don't really have anything else to say. Yes, I want to keep this one relatively short and just say that's what I'm going with. I guess the biggest name in there, well, Aaron, Rosita. I guess and Ezekiel. I got interrupted again, so now I'm totally lost. So I'm just going to go ahead and end it. The Walking Dead enters its 11th and final season, August the 22nd on AMC. I have no idea what their layout is for how the season's going to go, how many shows, how many episodes there are going to be. But we'll just see how right and wrong I was. All right, thanks for sitting through that mess. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, not necessarily in that order. And I will see you next time.